From the Green Room Studios at Bates Nursery in Nashville, Tennessee, it's Gardening Inside Out, a podcast with highlights from our Saturday morning live show, answering all your gardening questions, giving you plant advice for any space in your life. Let's start the show.
Hey, y'all, that's Tyler Blankenship over there.
And hey, it's Caroline Gant over there.
Over yonder.
Over yonder, but not for much longer.
Not for much longer, y'all. I'm already in vacation mode.
You're already, by the time this
door.
hits, you're probably already on the other side of the country.
I will be on the other side of the country. By the time this drops with y'all, it will be a Wednesday. I will definitely be in Nevada by then.
In Nevada la vida, baby.
And I am so ready.
Well, I'm ready for you.
Ready to drive across the country in a Subaru. It's going to be great.
Scooby-Dooing across the United States.
Sure am. Sleeping in the back of the car, looking at all the different plants.
I expect a chronicle.
Oh, you'll get one. Don't worry. You'll get pictures every day. I will blow up your phone. You don't have to respond either, but you're just going to be my dear diary.
I won't be able to respond because it's blown up.
That's right. It'll keep going. You'll be like, Caroline, so many amazing, beautiful pictures. My phone literally exploded.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, today we are exploding with heat.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
You're right about that. It's going to be even hotter tomorrow. Y'all, we're recording on Saturday today. So by the time you listen to this, we'll already be out of this heat wave a little bit.
Yeah. I'm at the point where I'm like, is the heat wave just in the South, or is it everywhere? Or is it the East Coast? Or is it, in the desert? Like, it just feels like it's just hot everywhere.
It's too hot.
I think I saw something that, as far as humidity goes, the eastern United States is similar to the Amazon rainforest.
That sounds right.
Yes. And so, not to get too weathery, but, you got the dew point, right?
Mm-hmm.
If the dew point reads anything above 70 degrees, we are talking swampy, okay? Sometimes it's been 73 to 76 degrees. That is mega swampy.
It's very swampy. The other night, it was dark. It was probably like 9 o'clock, and I was standing with some students in the parking lot, talking with them after class. And we were all like, we have to go. It's like we're standing in a pond right now. Sun wasn't even out. And I was just like, no, we're not doing this.
Yes.
Get in your cars. Get out of here. Go on, get.
Gone.
We all live in a pond right now.
We do. And some people it's a little bit wetter. Some people it's a little bit drier. It's hit or miss because it's summertime. It's a bit of a mess. We're a bit of a mess right now. Obviously, people going back to school. I know I talked about that last week.
You did.
But let's also talk about motivation.
Okay.
Because the heat is what we would call demotivating.
Sure is.
And one thing that I did last week that I did not like at all. I didn't like the sound of it.
Did you weed eat?
Yeah.
Oh, I guessed right.
My backyard for the first time this year.
How'd it feel?
Liberating. Not terrible.
Well, just because it's hot.
So I went and I just mega sucked it up. Now, some people do not have the capacity to suck it up, and I don't put it past you because it is so brutal out there. But I was like, you know what I'm going to do first? I'm going to weed eat first before I mow, because everything was getting really tall, and it really felt good once I got in there and I started cleaning it all up, because it just felt like there's this giant green monster that's trying to swallow my property whole. Mm-hmm. Once I trimmed it back, discovered stepstones that had been buried by weeds and grasses.
You sound like me right now.
Yeah, well, sometimes you just got to fight it back because things build up.
Yeah.
And I felt so good. By the time I got it all mowed up, now it did take an hour, at least an hour, probably two. I was blowing the grass off. I was doing the final stuff, looking great. And then I could actually access my garden beds to cut my massively overgrown okra that I had.
You cut it all the way back?
No, the pods. Because if you don't get to them in time, they turn into bananas, okay?
They're wild.
So I got to cut off the most massive okra pods ever and kind of get back to a baseline.
Bring it back.
Start attacking my beds. So, motivation. Where do you find it? I don't know. Good luck. But if you get it, you better ride that thing out and make a little bit of progress, because it's going to make you feel better.
I've been trying to be motivated, and I have been. I have been trying to plant as much in the ground as I can. and then let my sprinkler run to water it in because I think they're better off in the ground than they are in their pots on my driveway. And I've done okay.
I know.
And I'm hoping we get some rain while I'm gone.
You did more than okay.
Fingers
You
crossed.
got that Brandywine in the ground.
Brandywine went in the ground straight away. I think we talked about that last week. She's in the ground. She's still thriving. She's looking great.
Good. Mm-hmm. And doesn't that make you feel good?
To bring a plant home and then immediately plant it? Yes, because I find with me, if I don't immediately plant it, it goes into the pile and it stays in that pile. Sometimes for like 6 months.
Yeah. It's difficult to get back around to it.
It sure is. But I'm doing it. I have a little temporary bed too.
Yeah.
That was cleared out. And so I've stuck some things. I have 2 Loropetalum, a Incredible hydrangea, and a Fairy Trail Bride hydrangea that have all gone into the temporary garden bed. And when I get home, I'll probably pull them up and actually put them in their forever homes.
What does your temporary garden bed look like?
So it was a spot where I had laid cardboard like I do to kill off the grass and straw on top. And it's where I was growing my potatoes in containers. They were sitting on top. And so it's all ready to be planted. I just like dug little holes, like pushed the hay aside, dug through the cardboard and just stuck those plants in the dirt right there.
Cool.
Yeah, real cool.
I didn't know if it was something like sticking the whole container in the ground with the plant in it.
I thought about it, but I was like, I feel like it'll be better not in the container. What do you think?
I don't know. It might not have enough time to get too far away from you if you did need to dig it up and move it. Right?
Well, I'm thinking about holding moisture. Is it better with the pot sunk in the ground or without the pot sunk in the ground?
That is such a good point.
It's a good question.
Yeah.
Listeners, hit that fan mail button. Let us know.
If it hasn't rained very much, I guess it would be good. It would be better.
In the container?
In the container. I mean, it'll still drain out, but it won't drain out in every direction.
True.
But, yeah.
We
almost
do
makes me
have
want to do a test.
One of our, a friend here that shops, Pat, who's been shopping with us forever, he did tell me about that because we were talking one day about how we both have so many unplanted plants. And he was like, you know what I did a couple years ago? I just tilled up an area kind of in mostly shade. And that's where if I don't have time to plant something that I've bought, I just sink the plant in its pot right there as a temporary home.
Yeah.
So that's it. I didn't really think about that or remember that until now, but
that's what I had envisioned initially when you talked about that.
Maybe with the rest of them, I'll do that.
Maybe so.
Sink them on in the ground. I do have somebody coming over for 3 hours halfway into my trip to turn my sprinkler on for a long time.
Cool.
So it'll be fine.
Soak them if you got them.
Soak them if you got them. That's right.
Also pivoting to another issue that's in my backyard right now.
What is it?
A grasshopper apocalypse.
Oh, I have some grasshoppers, but not.
I cannot believe how many of them and how big they are because they scared the poop out of me.
They're massive. They're like this big.
They are.
Listeners, I'm putting my fingers up in a shape towards Tyler.
Yeah, and I don't know why. Every time I look at him, I'm like, are you made out of like cardboard or paper? I don't know why I look at them like that.
They look fake with those big eyes, and maybe those are false eyes. I don't know. I know a lot of bugs have false big eyes to scare away prey. But
they seem a little bit crispy to me whenever I look at them. I'm like, man, you're crispy.
You're dry.
You're a sharp, crunchy little thing, aren't you? And then I'm like, wait, you're eating all the leaves on my plants.
All the leaves on my plants.
No,
the leaves on my
I know. I sound like a little whiny goob, don't I?
No, you don't. You sound great. You sound like a big, strong man.
Oh, I'm a big, strong man.
I'm a big, strong man.
What am I going to do about these grasshoppers, Caroline?
Just befriend them. They're cute. It'll be fine.
They're cute. They're destroying my leaves.
What leaves are they eating?
They're eating leaves on my citrus plants.
Oh, it's your citrus.
Yeah.
You do love your citrus.
I mean, they love it too, but I don't love them as much as I love my citrus.
Yeah, that's tricky. I did count 8 lemons on my lemon tree the other day.
That's awesome. Mm-hmm. Way to go.
They take so long to ripen.
They do.
And that's okay.
Yeah, and then they all...
Hopefully it's still alive when I get
Then they're
home.
all kind of like ripe at once.
And then you're like, I got to use 8 lemons? What do I do? Make lemon margaritas. That's what you do.
Limoncello.
Limoncello. Or lemonade.
Yeah. Have you noticed there's a glut of lemon products in grocery stores? It feels like lemon is trending this year. Have you noticed that?
I love lemon flavored stuff.
Yeah, my local market, it's like lemon this, lemon that, lemon biscotti, lemon whatever.
Gosh, lemon biscotti sounds great. All right, listeners, it's been real. Tyler and I are going to go get a little dessert now. Oh no, we're bringing it back around to food.
No.
We talked a lot of food last week.
Well, we're growing food. It's part of the conversation.
Yeah, it is. No, I don't think it's a bad thing.
But man, is it hard to keep my citrus alive right now?
Really?
Yes.
Is it the grasshoppers or is it other things?
No, if I don't water my lime like every other day, it starts curling and wilting. It's not happy.
You know what I do with mine this time of year is I have them in the late spring all the way to about now. I have them on my back porch, which is full, hot, all day sun. And then towards the end of July, I move them to my front porch to where they only get hit with morning sun. And they are very happy like that.
I think I need to look into that. Right now, they're getting all day sun on my driveway.
I think it's
pretty
much.
Brutal. It is brutal.
I mean, they can definitely handle it, and they are a full sun plant. But in my experience with mine, this is like year 5 with them. It's a struggle if I do not move them into a more shaded area.
I get it. Mm-hmm. The struggle's real over here.
The struggle is real. You got it though. You got to knock them grasshoppers off, bring it into a little bit of shade.
I'm thinking about having a grasshopper roundup.
What does that mean? You're just going to catch them all?
I'm going to catch them somewhere? And put them in a mason jar and release them in a field far away.
How many do you think you'd catch in that mason jar?
Probably 12.
That'll be way, way too many.
Honestly, I'm thinking like maybe I could get 20 to 30 grasshoppers. There's so many.
Put them all in the same jar.
Maybe.
And then release them. It's going to be like a plague when you open that jar. It's going to be like The Mummy, that movie, when he opened his mouth and they were like, whoa.
Yeah, I know. They're going to be flying.
Please do a slow-mo video because you know what? They're also going to fly onto you and Sarah. And it's going to be great.
I know.
I need to see that.
I kid, but I just, sometimes I'm like, you guys.
Have that many grasshoppers?
There's so many.
I see one every few days.
I don't know why they're exploding over here unless they're just like, they have a favorite plant and they laid a bunch of, I don't even know how they reproduce. I guess they lay eggs somewhere.
I don't know. Yeah. What do grasshopper eggs look like?
I don't know. I'm going to do some research now.
We need to know this. I scared one. It was on one of my cactus when I was watering last night. And then it hopped onto my coleus. And then I walked around and looked at it and I said, look at you, little buddy. Listeners, Tyler is Googling right now.
Okay. Female grasshoppers lay clusters of 8 to 30 elongated rice-shaped
You have a whole grasshopper
eggs
family.
wrapped in a protective hardened foam pod. Oh, wow. I can see it. It's not pleasant looking. Deposited 1 to 2 inches underground in untilled soil pastures or garden edges during late summer and fall.
So untilled, so you just need to till up your entire yard.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, and then you won't have grasshoppers anymore.
No problem.
That's how you do it, Tyler.
Leaving things too
till
undisturbed.
Up your whole yard and it'll be fine.
Part of my garden is coming up this year. It's going to happen.
What part? You redid some last year when you guys redid your pond.
That's right. The raised beds, I've mentioned this before. The raised beds, we're moving them. I might even be getting rid of one because it's made with a lesser preferred type of wood.
What is it made with?
Treated lumber.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I want to eliminate the treated lumber.
We did cedar when we built ours.
Yes, I've got 2 out of cedar now.
Those are great.
And I prefer them, and they're holding up really well. And actually, the treated one's holding up well. Surprise. Big surprise. But I'm going to take all that dirt, and I'm going to scatter it and regrade that little back garden area.
Uh-huh.
And did you just yawn?
I did, Tyler. Why'd you have to call me out on it?
Because I heard you were like,
Well, you know what? I'm human.
Sure.
We're all human here. We all yawn.
Sure.
Now I have another one coming on.
I'm trying to pretend like we're not human for a minute.
Never. Like aliens.
Yeah. I'm going to start calling you Yanni.
Oh my God. All right, I'm back.
Okay, well, it was definitely riveting talking about redoing my garden beds.
Well,
raised beds.
with raised beds, you do have to redo them every so often. I think I talked about it in the early spring, but I got some metal raised beds just to see how they do. They're okay. It seems like they heat up so much that it's drying out the soil so fast. So I wouldn't say I love metal raised beds now. Thank goodness I only got 3. I almost went ahead and just got like 10 because they were so cheap. But I mean, they do the job. My marigolds are in them are doing fine, and my strawberries and my basil. But everything else has just been mad that are in those.
That makes sense.
Also, the soil settled a lot, and so it's pretty shallow at this point. So
How far did it sink?
probably like 1.5 inches, which is a lot.
Yeah.
Maybe 2 inches.
Wow, what a diff.
But luckily, I mean, it's all like annual stuff except for the strawberries, which are doing fine. So the other beds I can completely redo and add soil. Maybe I'll do some earth mix supernatural.
That sounds supernaturally good to me. Did you add like logs and stuff to the bottom of those beds?
Yeah, I do.
Because I'm sure that's also why there's some settling. All that. Now,
No, not to my metal beds because they were already so shallow. I do it to the raised wooden beds that we build.
okay.
Because those have been pretty deep. Because we have one that's like comes up to my hips, and that's my favorite one. But yeah, we filled the bottom of that with logs because that was going to be a lot of soil in there. Yeah.
Yeah. I think we are definitely in this mode where we are frantically planning for fall, even though we can't seemingly
It doesn't
do
feel
too
like
much.
it at all.
I know, but we're thinking about it. We're ideating. What are we going to do? You know? And I know a lot of people have been approaching us with questions about, hey, what fall veggies am I going to put in? You know, what seeds am I going to start? And we'd love to advise you on that. The issue is that it's just so hot. It really is not, we have like a really tight window here in this part of the South for growing fall crops. In milder areas, it's not really that big of a deal if you put something out a little early because it has some time to mature.
It is hard to find that sweet spot because I am very excited about my fall gardening, but it is too hot right now. So if I wasn't going out of town, I would definitely be like yearning to go ahead and start planting my greens, carrots, cilantro, all that stuff that I plan on growing in the fall. But it is still too hot, especially to do starts. I mean, seed you can still do, but stuff is going to bolt. Like if you get it in too early and we stay hot, it's going to be pretty much pointless.
And as far as starts go, it is a nice little bellwether that if you go to your local garden center and they don't have them, there's a reason why they don't have them.
Do not roast them. They're saving you from yourself.
That's right. We're doing this in everyone's best interest. But it is not in the interest of even the people who work here who want the plants.
I know. I'm just thinking about like collard greens. I'm like, collard greens. But if I plant them now, they're going to bolt. They're going to go to seed. And then they're not going to taste good.
Yes. And so on this week's broadcast, we also talked a little bit about that, about waiting and about, extending maybe even into November or December, depending on how many freezes we have, because sometimes you can get away with it and you can still get a harvest that late if you mitigate frost.
Usually I'm more of a spring, summer vegetable gardener, but I think this year I might go bigger with my fall, winter gardening. Seems more fun to me at this point.
Well, the past few years, we've had our initial freeze event, which has caused things to drop leaves and go dormant. And then there's not much follow-up there. Sometimes November can be a bit colder than even December. Yeah. And then December just gets really mild and kind of chills. And then
January slaps us in the face with a huge ice storm.
Yeah. But then it kind of rebounds too. So it's I think it's possible. You just have to smooth out some of those extremes and also be realistic that, you might see some frost damage on certain things. You can't protect everything.
Let's be honest, we're not growing our vegetable bed for beauty. I mean, yes, it is beautiful, but we're eating those things. So you don't need it to look perfect.
Yep. You need it to get in your belly.
Now I'm ready to get back in town and really get on that fall gardening.
Get on that train.
No, I don't need to try to push my trip away.
Well, before that.
So I can plant collard greens.
And while you're gone.
Oh.
And when this podcast comes out, I will be at the Lowe's Vanderbilt Hotel representing Earth Mix. Fancily, I guess.
Yes, you will.
For the Garden Center Conference.
Oh, tell our listeners about that a little bit.
So Earth Mix is sponsoring it. It's put on by the Garden Center Group, which is also produces Garden Center Magazine. And the Garden Center Conference is it's a national event. and it mainly involves the local garden center industry across America. I don't know if I was concise with all that.
I think you got it.
I'm like, Garden Centers America National Conference. Cool.
Lowe's Vanderbilt Plaza.
Lowe's Vanderbilt Plaza. So, yeah, it's an industry event. You know, you get to talk to other people, network. There's some sessions on kind of, you know, marketing and how to take care of plants, you know, pest awareness. There's all kinds of stuff that's going on. And also, there's a garden center tour, and that's the final component on Thursday, August 20th. And that's Bates Nursery and Garden Center is going to be one of the host garden centers on the tour. We're the first stop.
Yes, first and the most exciting.
We're excited. We've certainly been prepping the nursery for like a month.
We are. And because of this, our inventory is actually higher than it typically would be this time of year. So if there's things you're wanting, chances are we have that in stock right now, when typically we would be a little bit lower in the dead of summer.
Yeah, and we're still bringing some things in. I think we've got more coming next week. So it's a good time. We have discounts running. So it's a good, like, hey, fresh stock, discount price, good time to get a deal.
And it's y'all, I mean, we don't typically like talk about our sales or anything or the nursery too much on this podcast because a lot of our listeners are not here. So you're not going to be able to shop. But just really quickly, for any of our local listeners who don't know, we are running 30% off all plants, excluding Japanese maples right now, which is exciting. So get in there and get some house plants.
That's right.
I'm buying some.
I know you are.
I shouldn't be, but I am.
I'm wishing I could be, but then it goes back to the motivation issue.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think it would be unfair. I've got some plants from the Southern Living event that were given to me that I'm still trying to keep alive that are sitting on my driveway.
Those are my two Loropetalum.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've always wanted Loropetalum and I've never bought them. And then we had some that were gifted to staff members here after that event. And I hopped on that. And listeners, if you're like, what is a Loropetalum? It's a cute little dainty shrub that has, most of them, not all of them, have very dark purple leaves. And then when they bloom, they have this like spray looking bloom that's like magenta or red. The one I got is magenta. So it really contrasts against that dark color leaf.
Yeah. Commonly also referred
to
as fringe flower.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, there's a range of them for sure.
Yeah. But it's a great little thing to add to your landscape. I've seen some mature ones that are absolutely stunning. They do go pretty dormant in the winter, so they look, dormant. They look sad. Some people get mad at that, but I like sticks. I like plants that go dormant. I'm fine with everything being dormant.
Yeah. I think we could as a society, especially in this area of the country, get used to the dormancy because a lot of things do that are native here. Not many native plants that actually have foliage over the winter, and we can live with that.
Yeah. I mean, we're a deciduous place. That is
decidedly
deciduous. That's hard. Decidedly deciduous.
I know.
Did I say it?
Yeah, you did.
Did I nail it?
Yeah.
We need that on a t-shirt. Put that on a tote bag, Tyler. Hey, Tyler got his tote bags in. I know you've been talking about those. They're gorgeous, listeners. They're stunning.
I'm glad they look just as like they were teased on the show a couple of weeks ago. I'm very pleased with how they turned out.
Tyler's quite the designer.
I try.
You try and you do great. You don't even have to try. I say you're a natural.
Well, thanks.
You nail it every single time.
Same with you.
Just like I'm going to nail it going out of town.
Yeah.
And we nailed it this last broadcast.
That's right. We're nailing this podcast down too.
Well, are we ready to go ahead and get into our episode?
Yes, it was very pruning heavy.
It was very pruning heavy. We talked a lot about pruning shrubs. I think maybe some trees, laurels.
Yes.
Perennials.
Yeah.
Catmint.
Dividing Amsonia.
We talked a lot about bananas. Tyler got to spill some information on that. If you ever have questions on bananas, Tyler is your go-to. We did do a fun banana chop video last year that featured Austin in a banana costume.
Mm-hmm.
That was a wild ride.
That was very wild. Somewhat traumatic as well.
He was yielding a machete.
Yeah. With sharp objects, he's a different person.
Yeah. He turns into a monster. Fun and exciting monster. But speaking of monsters, we had 4 monsters in the room this past broadcast. So we had myself, Tyler, David Bates, and filling in was Adam Chapman. So we are missing Josh on this broadcast, but don't worry, y'all, he will be back.
It's never a bad time of year to add Earth Mix to your garden. Earth Mix garden products are sustainably sourced, living soils and amendments crafted to give you the best success for your gardening efforts. Establishing a raised bed? Use Garden Premium Topsoil Blend for an excellent performing growing medium for flowers and vegetables. Amend your gardens with their supernatural compost, with all the nutrients needed to recharge existing soils. For houseplants, their Proganics Indoor Grow Mix is a fantastic potting medium that will feed for up to 6 months without the need for additional fertilizer. Earth Mix is sold only at independent garden centers, so head over to earthmix.net/find earthmix to locate one near you. Success begins at the ground level when you use Earth Mix garden products.
Caroline, what's on your brain today and this morning with all that you've got going on?
So many things. Just getting ready to go. Getting ready for the garden center tour, which is going to be great and fun. The whole nursery's looking fantastic.
It's looking pretty good.
I mean, it always does,
Yeah,
but
and I
we're
don't
really amping things up right now.
I don't know how much we've talked about this. There is a garden center conference occurring this coming week. And I think there's a total of like 400 participants. We're expecting about 150 here for our part of the tour, and they'll be here for about an hour. And it's amazing, how much effort we have put into preparation for that hour for the last month.
I would say so. Yeah.
There's
3 or 4 weeks.
And it's good to have company every now and again because
it forces you to clean house.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. Get those clothes in the hamper.
It does.
You
walk into the house with the eyes of the guests on your mind. You go, this is not going to work.
No, this is not the view I want. I want them to believe and idealize the version of us. And that's what we're shooting for. Even though that,
we do our best to keep it looking good year round.
But we've taken a few extra pains. We've got those really scrutinous eyes that will be upon us. And, we're hoping to avoid any. The last time we had one of these, someone suggested that we should just tear it all down and put apartment complexes up. So we're maybe that comment doesn't come across this time. I don't know. You have no control over others. We just do what we do, and we're going to do it to our best ability, and then we're going to let it go. And that's okay. So
another add-on effect from this event is that we have a lot more inventory than we would usually have.
Yes, we do.
This time of year, including some really fresh-looking hydrangea that look beautiful in bloom. We've got some cool new varieties of things, so it's definitely worth it to stop by. Despite the heat,
right?
We're
just come by and browse through. Even if you have to make it early this morning, or we do have a lot of shaded structures.
We do. We have lots of fans running. We got plenty of water.
We got plenty of water. You will not go without the things we can provide.
Correct.
We've got them, and we've got plenty of them. So come out and see us, and we'll help you figure out what your next step is.
And speaking of plenty, we already have a live question.
Let's do it.
And this comes from James Barr. How to address leggy 6-year-old Encore azaleas?
Well, that would be by pruning them. And it's getting a little late.
Well,
probably could still do it.
Should have done it at least a week ago.
Yeah.
Because they're Encores, like all azaleas, the primary blooming time is that first flower time in the spring, and that is preceded by the bud set that is in the fall, which is what believe it or not, we're moving into. So what you want to do is, if you prune them, you want to do it enough in advance to allow those buds to set on the new growth that emerges after you have pruned. It's not unusual for people to remember only at this time of year.
Right.
So I would say go ahead and prune them. If they're really leggy, make them look stubby.
Yeah, you'll probably end up with about 30% of the leaves that you had before, just because you're cutting them pretty hard, and then put some holly tone on them.
Yeah, get that new growth flushed out as quick as possible, and hopefully get it matured so that it can set bud. The worst thing's going to happen is you're going to sacrifice your bud count in the spring.
Right.
If you delay further, you may totally eliminate. But because they're encores, they are repeat bloomers, so they will set bud on
new growth,
on other new growth. Yeah. So is it going to be devastating? No. There's no way to correct that leggy condition unless
without doing that. Yep.
Just be mindful. You may be operating with sharp instruments. My wife got a reminder of that. We've got bought her a pair several years ago. These ASV,
really nice ones.
They're surgical instruments, surgically sharp.
Yes.
And if you have your finger and you slide it against the blade, I mean, it laid her finger open. So but because it was so clean and she bandaged it up well.
Can't even really tell.
2 days later, it's
already.
Yeah, she's not wearing a bandage anymore. So just be mindful of when you're using sharp things, they can cut you.
Nobody wants that.
All right. Caroline, do you have other questions in the queue for us?
I do have some questions to talk about. So somebody did ask what y'all got in the indoor plant section. So I just wanted to take a minute to say.
I think you're qualified to answer that question.
have a lot. We have a lot of really cool things. And I want to give a shout out to Callie, who is in houseplants, who will be in there a lot this coming week. To help out, and she's just amazing. She's been cleaning in there and doing a fantastic job. But you really just have to come out and see what we have in there because it is full right now. Tyler and I will try to do a little walkthrough video soon. We've just been so busy. We haven't gotten one done lately, but I mean, it's full. It is a jungle in there.
It really is. And you and Callie, I mean, and kudos to her. She is a tough young woman.
Oh, she stays in there in that heat.
And I have to encourage her, Callie, don't forget to take breaks.
Yes.
Go in the office and sit.
All right, let's get one more question. And best way to prune leggy limelight hydrangeas? I would say to have pruned it earlier. That's what I do. I spring prune mine.
Right. But you can still, as we were talking about with the encores a minute ago, you can still prune them now. You're just right now you're getting into the danger where the new growth, I know it's hard to think about right now, but the new growth might get nipped by a, dare I say, frost or freeze. But
we know it's coming.
It's coming.
As unrealistic as that seems right now.
Right. But that, if
you fail to do it, the consequences could be worse.
Correct. So in order to kind of get control of that plant, go ahead and just prune it back pretty hard. And it'll flush out. It'll be more even, and then next year it'll be better able to bloom and hold those blooms upright too.
Yeah, and that's the biggest issue I see people. The issue that results out of not pruning severely enough. Hydrangeas are growing machines, and if you keep those stems cut at the appropriate time, severely enough, and you get that nice branching effect, you'll eliminate what you're talking about is that drooping effect that can't hold on these 3 foot long limbs.
Yes.
They cannot hold all that weight up, particularly when they have had a rain or something on them. So if you keep them short, you can work around all that. I've got Annabelles at my house, and we cut them to the ground every year. Now, of course, it's a different plant a little bit, but we cut them. They're going to flower on the resulting growth out of it. So we just cut them to the ground, and they do really well every year because if we didn't, they would flop terribly.
Oh, really bad. Yeah, they're really bad about it. That's why Incrediball was developed. One of the reasons why.
Jack said, I had some trees removed that provided shade for my 3-year-old macrophylla hydrangeas. They all blistered from all afternoon sun. Should I relocate?
I think that's an affirmative, yes.
What I would do is wait. I mean, I guess you could do it now. Probably should. I mean, transplanting now is not a great option, but the sun and the heat is not a great option for them either. But
do you think that the negative effects of transplanting this, I mean, in as bad a time as you can do outweigh the certainty that you're going to have, I would be inclined to just let them burn up.
Let them burn up and
then,
transfer in the wintertime.
Yeah,
when they're
anytime
dormant.
after about the middle of November or whatever.
Right, when they're dormant. But also, you could just once those are moved, you could put in some tardiva hydrangeas like Little Lime or Limelight or Quickfire, Little Quickfire. There's all kinds of them now. Those will be able to take that hot afternoon sun.
Right.
So that's would be my advice. Would be to wait. I know they're going to look bad for the next 3 months or whatever.
Well, as gardeners, we kind of understand it. It's hard to keep everything looking at its peak at all times.
Correct.
Sometimes you got to, like we were talking about with the first couple of questions, you got to sacrifice something now to get the desired result.
The
you
reward
want
later.
in the future.
Yep. That's one thing that gardening does teach you is
Patience and
It does.
sacrificing for the future.
And Tyler just did all of that for me to get my laptop back on board. So let's go ahead and get to our
hopefully
next
no one
question.
had any awareness of it. It was, and we were able to stretch enough to give him the opportunity to duck in and duck out.
Tyler always saves the day. It's amazing. So Elaine asked a question on YouTube. With all the talk of being late for trimming back, should I be trimming back my laurels that have gotten a little tall at the front of my house?
Well, it's at this point, it's
I would trim them to shape.
Yeah, maybe, but not trim them back too hard at this point. If I was gonna do a hard trim, I would wait till right before they flush in the spring.
Yep. No earlier than mid-February.
Right.
Wait till the worst of the winter has passed, because laurels, after all, are a broadleaf evergreen. And because of that, they don't have the inherent hardiness that a deciduous plant will have, or certainly a conifer. So if you want to do severe pruning, like you say, in advance of the flush of new growth, and you can cut them back as heavy as you want to at that point.
Pretty much, yeah.
Fertilize, as you always like to remind folks. You got to have
holly tone on there.
You got to have
the nutrients available.
Yeah, you got to have that. So you do that, it's going to respond wonderfully.
Yep.
But I would only just trim them back just enough to
shape them a little bit.
Yeah, if they're into the edges of your windows and you want to take it back a little bit just to shape it, it won't hurt a thing. You still got lots of foliage on there, because if you're going to need to prune them severely, which it sounds like you might consider doing, and people frequently err on the very cautious side, and they're growing machines.
Yes.
Do not be afraid to trim them hard.
Well, we saw that. We saw that with the freeze we had almost 4 years ago now, when a lot of broadleaves got hammered really bad by that late freeze. And those of you that listened to us and said, "Hey, just leave them."
Yeah, they may be coming out from the ground,
correct,
but the root system's not affected.
Nope. And
so they
look like they never got.
And boom, they're back.
And 4 years later, they look like they never got hit.
Right. So a little patience can save you some money.
Sure can. And speaking of pruning and cutting things back, should I prune my lavender yet? It's starting to get woody. Yes, mid to late summer is the best time to go ahead and prune it, but make sure you don't really cut back on those woody stems too much, because you might completely lose your plant. So if you want to go ahead and give it a cut back, do it now that it's bloomed out, and then your lavender should be happy and healthier.
Yeah, and I think the danger for that, Caroline, is that they are a bit hollow-stemmed. If you cut them back too severely, they'll stand in water and they can rot out over the winter.
We do not want that.
Yeah, ornamental grasses are that way.
Yeah, so there's a lot of things that if you can wait until late winter, early spring, then... because even if they're a little shaggy looking, that is better than dead.
Correct.
So, and ornamental grasses, of course, you've defeated the purpose of them if you cut them back.
Yeah, you want to have that nice foliage in the wintertime.
And I'll just speak to ornamental grasses briefly. I was talking with Bridget. Of course, it's our first shout out to Bridget today.
Hey, Bridget.
And what a display of grasses
we have. I can't think of a grass we don't have right now.
I was talking to her, back in the day, I remember there was nothing but pampas grass. That was all there was. And then ivory feathers was developed.
Yep.
But it's just a pampas cultivar. It's no more winter hardy.
No.
And pampas grass is one of those grasses you plant as perennial, and maybe you get 3 years out of it before you have a hard freeze. Or if they get cut back at the wrong time and it stands in the stems, it rots out. So they are not non-problematic. However, the Bridget being the Midwestern grass girl that she is, we have a selection of grasses that have this entire array of foliar colors and seed heads on them that are developing right now.
Oh yeah, our A11 section where the grasses are is
stellar,
phenomenal right now.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I doubt you'll go anywhere that can have a selection that rivals what we have on hand in grasses. So way to go, Bridget.
Yes, good work, Bridget. She makes me buy grass almost once a week. Tyler, our next question I think is right up your alley. They said bananas in all caps. What is the best way to remove and clean up once they get hit by the first freeze?
Oh man. Well, if I would advise you to do as much pruning and removal as you can before the first freeze. That's so you got plenty of time.
Yeah, it turns to mush at that point.
They turn to mush and they start going brown. It's really gross.
And you don't want to deal with it when it's mush.
Exactly. So now you're in the plan phase now. Okay. Now that you have the advanced information, let's make a plan for maybe mid to late October. Just go ahead, find a nice weekend. Maybe you've already done your Halloween costume shopping. And just give it the chop.
That's more important.
And
what about the candy, huh?
What about the candy?
I mean, you got to get candy too, right?
That's right. Maybe you need to plan your candy shopping before that too. You've got a lot to do in October now.
It's just so difficult to find candy with low glycemic impact.
Yeah, it is hard.
That's what
right.
it is.
Yeah.
Well, maybe you could make candy out of the very sticky banana sap that comes out of the stems. You don't want to do that.
No, don't do that.
But and know this: if you're going to try and compost them, they're going to need to dry out, and the stems are very difficult to compost. They're super fibrous. They're also heavy with water content, so it's going to take a long time. They're probably going to continue to persist through the winter. So if you don't like that on your property anywhere, you might want to just chuck it to the brush pickup.
Yeah, if you had an area that was adjacent to a paved parking lot that you could just kind of lay them out on, that would greatly advance
help a lot.
the dehydration and the reduce the hygroscopic nature of the stems and leaves. They are water storing machines.
It's pretty insane. They're just like wet logs.
That sounds like the biggest insult ever.
You could stack them like wood, but they're just all wet and green. It's incredible.
Well,
it's incredible.
They're a plant that in their native habitat is just continuous growth.
Right.
They never stop growing. So.
Yep.
Right.
Speaking of never stopping growing, is it really? I don't know. Let's see. Is it too late to cut back my catmint to get a rebloom? I don't think so. I actually cleaned up my sidewalk bed 2 days ago. I cut mine back, but I didn't cut it all the way back to the ground because if your catmint is pretty overgrown, if you let it get a little bit wild, if you push back the middle of that plant, you'll notice that there's probably new growth coming out of the base. So what I do is I cut mine back to that, and usually in the matter of a couple weeks or so, I will get some more blooms. So I don't think it's too late. I say do it, especially if it's grown out of control like mine did. It was all over my sidewalk.
Yeah, they're another growing machine.
Yeah,
for sure.
They just keep going. This is the second, maybe third time I've done this year. And you can kind of get continuous blooms out of those until we really start to get.
Do you have trouble
nice and
keeping
cold.
the cats out of your catmint, or they're somewhat adjusted to it?
Considering I had so many kittens living on my porch for a minute, who have all been rehomed now.
Congratulations!
They like to just sleep in the middle of it.
Oh,
so
sure.
that was fun, or underneath it when they were really, really small, and it was cute, so it was fine. But I had to get it all back in check because they got it looking pretty bad. But that is a great perennial if you want something that you can just work with a little bit, but it's still very, very low maintenance. All right, and another perennial question: when is the best time to divide my Amsonia fall.
3:30.
3:30 in the fall. You'll notice, like we talked about with Baptisia last year, we probably did last year as well, but last
What a long
week,
year it's been.
you'll notice even after it dies back all the way to the ground, you'll see those eyes just below the soil level. So you can pull it up, divide it, replant it, and next year you'll have even more plants in different spots.
One of those mathematical conundrums is that you multiply it by dividing.
Correct.
That is
Yep.
correct.
So you just go,
That's the way
"What?"
nature is.
That's it.
That's what I still need to do with my hostas. I have not done that yet. But what are some smaller alternatives to gray owl juniper?
There's a perfect specimen that just came on the market, Gray Guardian.
I have not seen that one yet.
We actually had it. It's my first time seeing it at the nursery just a month ago. And we're sold out now, unfortunately. But it is a sport of gray owl juniper that gets 3 to 5 foot tall and wide. So
Oh, yeah, I remember us looking
and that's
at
just
that.
indicative of we get so many things in here that even you don't see every one
Well,
of them.
I'm sure I saw it. I just thought it was a gray owl.
Yeah.
it did.
I just didn't look at the tag.
The foliage looked very similar, but
Yeah.
I was like, what's that? It looks very tidy and clean.
Well,
And I just
here's what I'll say
dipped
about
in.
that, and no disparagement to Proven Winners or Monrovia or these people that develop things, but come on, there's some, they fudge the number sometimes. Oh yeah, this will only get this big. Really? I'll look at some things and
Yeah.
go, yeah, you're lying.
And
about
perhaps it indeed does exhibit more compact growth.
Correct.
Habit. And if they're in the right location
Right.
where they're getting plenty of sun,
that. They'll get bigger.
they'll get bigger, but maybe they don't, arch out quite so much as quickly.
Maybe not.
Perhaps.
That's what I'm saying. Time will tell.
Someone
Yeah.
needs to get one and do a little trial and let us know.
Somebody's
All right.
already got one because we don't have any right
That's
now,
right.
so-
And if that someone was one of you that are watching, keep us updated. Maybe email us some photos at gardeninginsideout@gmail.com.
Additional support for Gardening Inside Out is brought to you by Bates Nursery, a 4th-generation garden center located in Nashville, Tennessee, offering the widest selection of plants and gardening supplies, from large trees to houseplants and seeds to soil. Their knowledgeable staff will assist you with all your gardening needs. Open year-round, minutes from the heart of Nashville in beautiful Whites Creek, Tennessee. Browse their selection online anytime at batesnursery.com. Bates Nursery and Garden Center, beautifying Nashville since 1932.
Stephanie says, hi there. I saw on Instagram that I could email you. Sure did. You were reading. I'm wondering if this guy, I think it's cheddar pink dianthus, is
Yep.
dead, or is it just dead for now and will come back in the spring? Should I cut the brown stuff off? I've lived with it for 3 years, but not originally planted. It never got this brown before. Thanks in advance. I would remove all of
Yes.
that brown.
Yeah.
It shouldn't necessarily be doing this. This isn't normal for dianthus, but it does look healthy in the middle. So I'd say there's some hope,
Yes.
Stephanie.
But there's no hope if you don't get rid of that stuff, because
Nah,
you gotta
just be done with it. It's
Yeah.
certainly not adding anything.
no.
No,
Yeah,
it's
no.
not going to come back from that brown. So get it on out of there. And then our next one comes from Kay. Kay sent us a little update of her garden. It says quiet garden this week. Wow.
Beautiful.
That is.
Yeah.
Is that
Is
like
that
a white
allium? Is that
allium?
Yeah, it looks like an allium. Yeah, that looks good.
We got another one. Boom.
Ooh.
Look
There
at
you
that.
go.
That's lovely.
That
Kay,
is-
your garden photos, just stunning. All right. And then Cherry sent Seminole squash. The squash is taking over, as you can see. Foliage is so healthy that I can't count the fruit. No squash beetles. We'll let you know how the crop turns out.
Wow.
This bed is about 20 foot wide for reference, about 4 plants.
Yeah, and the squash is such a voracious grower that you could have achieved it with one, but
Correct.
when we sell them, they're in 4
4 packs.
packs. So
Yep.
what are you going to do?
Plant all 4 of them.
Yeah.
This Seminole squash was mentioned by Nancy, who listens to the broadcast in Florida, brought me a sample squash. Actually, that squash is still in my cabinet, still good, and I still plan to plant the seeds of it and save them. So,
Yeah, the,
You should share them
So-
with me.
The one
yeah, I
thing
will share them with
The
you.
one thing you will never see any competition on are things such as squash that are prize winning because you're not going for size. I mean, Renee and I had some friends gift us some zucchini and cucumbers.
They're just trying to get rid of it.
That were prize winning.
Sure.
Yeah, we just chucked them in the compost, But they meant well.
Sure.
They just didn't have any idea. So, you almost need to pick them every day.
Oh yeah, because if they get too big, you can't.
I mean, and
really
in
eat
one
them.
day they can go from just right to they're already.
Well, that's
over.
why I used to plant zucchini and squash and everything, but nobody at the house ate it.
Kind
You could bring it here. I'll eat
so
it.
I was like, I got peppers, tomatoes, and beans. That's what I do. So
and that's
and
good.
herbs. I got all kinds of herbs that I grow too. So just too many. The squash is just too much.
Yeah,
It's
you got to be into canning.
Yeah, which I don't have time for, really. So.
All right, and our next set of photos comes from Sarah. Sarah says, "Hi, friends at Bates. I love the pod. I have 2 questions and a pick. First pick, the largest slug I've ever seen. Ew.
Okay.
When it stretched out, it was at least as long as my pointer finger. Yuck. Question, where in the world did this Mac Daddy slug come from?" Where's that picture?
I've got it. It's right here. It's pretty crazy.
Forthcoming.
That's a big slug.
Yeah, they're around. They're around. You'll
Mac
see them.
Daddy.
You'll see them, especially in damp spots.
And I'm seeing dampness over there,
Yeah.
unless that's just slug slime across the top. But I'm pretty sure that's.
And slugs I treat all the same. Salt.
Yep,
And they go away.
they do.
Yeah.
And you don't have to contemplate
Nope.
where they go.
Nope.
But
That is a
They
big, giant slug.
disintegrate.
while you're keeping your personal salt levels up, you can share some with the
Yes,
slug.
with the slugs.
There you go.
They'll love it.
when
And-
it was raining nearly every day.
That's what I'm saying. I
that
kind of be.
you'll see
It's got to be
those-
the reason.
Yes, snails, slugs. Yep.
And then our second question from Sarah is, I'm growing pumpkins for the first time this year, kind of accidentally thanks to seeds from a pumpkin last year I threw out on some mulch. Half the vine is covered in what looks to be powdery mildew. Any hope for the pumpkins, or is it time to tear it out?
There's always hope.
There is
Yeah.
always
For
hope.
pumpkins.
Yeah, but maybe cut all the powdery mildew affected parts out. and
Yeah.
you give yourself a better chance. It's better to have some that are good than all that are bad. So
I'd rather be dealing with powdery mildew than borers.
Yes.
Yeah.
true.
that's-
I mean, you can treat powdery mildew, and maybe remove the worst affected leaves and use a
Copper fungicide.
copper-based fungicide.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. And then Colin says, I love this, Colin. And I think we talked about it last week or the week before. Y'all ever heard of Flat Stanley? I submit for the Midnight Society, Flat Tyler.
There we go.
I think we should do a Flat Tyler.
Yep. That's
Absolutely.
I'm
You
totally
said that's
here
fine.
for it.
I mean,
Yeah.
we've already got you right there. You're so flat. And then Joyce asked, do you ever sell artichoke seeds or starts? I'm thinking of growing some next year. Yes, we sell starts, and I think we probably sell seeds, but the starts will have, sometimes we get them in the fall just to add to mixed containers,
Yeah.
but I do see them in the spring and summer. So yes, Joyce, sounds like you owe us a little visit. I haven't seen you in a second either. And then John says, I bought some ornamental grasses at Bates 2 weeks ago. I know it's hot this weekend, but can I go ahead and put them in the ground? I would
Yes.
say yes. I planted grasses yesterday.
In the words of my dear departed brother-in-law, don't let fear and common sense get in the way.
Exactly.
If you can dig a hole, I mean, how can they be worse off in the ground?
I would think they'd much rather be in the ground than
Particularly,
in the pot.
anything that's in the container right now, and with even as professionals, we have things that get turned over that for whatever reason
Yes.
miss an irrigation cycle, and
Well-
it shows quickly.
This kind of weather shows you just how good your irrigation system is,
Right.
and the spots that are not
and your
getting
ability
hit.
to keep things standing.
Correct.
If you can get it in the ground, go for it.
Yes.
All right. If my big oaks are wilting their leaves, do I need to put a hose on them, and for how long?
Big oaks.
Big oaks.
I just
Big
wonder
oaks,
if they're
wilting
established. If they're established, I would think that we've had enough rainfall, even as
I
hot
would
as it
think
is,
so.
Yeah.
Especially for oaks because they're so deep
Might
rooted.
want to send us a picture of that. Maybe
Yeah.
you're seeing something that's not
Yeah.
really there.
Yeah.
And
I mean-
you can email it to gardeninginsideout@gmail.com.
But certainly at this point, as hot as and dry as it's been the last week, I mean, if you
It
want to
could be some. It won't hurt anything.
it's not hurt anything if you want to water them. I mean,
Go ahead and give it a try.
yeah.
All right. Do you have any dwarf zinnia varieties still available? And is it too late to plant more seeds? We do have some available back at the greenhouse. I brought them in. They're here. They're already blooming in room. I wouldn't say it's too terribly late to start seed. If you have them, you can go ahead and give them a try. I do that with mine because mine are already looking really sad. Well, I was better at it last year. I haven't planted the seeds just yet this year. But because they start to really brown out this time of year, I would have done it 2 weeks ago. I go ahead and add more seeds in that same area. They come up and then it looks good all over again. But like I said, if you still have the seeds, go ahead and do it. Zinnias come up in a matter of like
Pretty
2 to 4
quick, yeah.
days.
Yeah, pretty
And
quick.
with the heat and the sun, they'll start growing like crazy.
The germination under these conditions, if you've got adequate moisture, could be timed in minutes. I mean, it's going to be fast.
It's going to be very, very fast.
Yep.
What's the best time to plant cool season crops in Nashville?
Seeds is pretty close. I mean, right now ish. The next couple weeks.
The extended forecast is showing we're going to dip below
Yeah.
the 90 degrees for the high. So you might want to consider in the next week or two getting something going.
In fall, cool season vegetables in the fall are always a difficult proposition because you've got to get them out early enough for them to get established so you have some reasonable expectation of harvesting off of them. But if you wait until the weather is more conducive, then there's not
Too
enough
late.
time.
Yeah, they can't mature.
So fall crops are always a little more difficult. The timing is critical and a degree of luck.
Now, if
Correct.
you're good with frost mitigation, I mean, if you can miss, if you can protect them for just the couple of frosts we usually have in November leading to December. December is sometimes kind of mild here.
Exactly.
So that's where that's where the luck comes in.
Yeah,
exactly.
And the frost mitigation, if you have that. Well, you know what? Music means that we have completed yet another hour of Gardening Inside Out. Thanks to everyone who tuned in today and sent questions along. We're really appreciative of that. And we hope you'll tune in next week. And for Tyler Blankenship, Caroline Gant, who's this guy? Adam Chapman, and me, David Bates. I still know my name. I got a blank spot there for a second.
It happens to the best of
It
us.
does happen. We thank you for tuning in. Invite you again next week and send those questions along to gardeninginsideout@gmail.com. And we'll see you next week.
Thank you for tuning into the Gardening Inside Out podcast. If you're looking for more information or more from your hosts, don't forget that we have a live Saturday morning broadcast, 8 a.m. Central Time on YouTube and Facebook. You can also follow us on our Instagram channel. That's @Gardening Inside Out for more posts, reels, and in-depth dives to topics and things we've discussed on the show. If our content resonates with you, consider giving us a follow, like, and subscription on all of our social media pages. See you next time.